The Valerian Empire had conquered 400 star systems in 3 centuries. Their military might was legendary across the galaxy. No civilization had ever survived their declaration of war. They were efficient, brutal, and absolutely serious about their dominance. So when Ambassador Kevin Richards opened the ornate crystalline box containing the Valerian War Declaration, everyone expected panic. Instead he laughed. "Are you seeing this?" Kevin held up the holographic scroll to the camera. His assistant, Lucy Freeman, adjusted the lighting in their broadcast studio. They actually used purple ink. Purple. The live stream was going out across all human channels. 50 billion people were watching Earth's official response to an alien declaration of war. Lucy zoomed in on the elaborate calligraphy. "The font choice is really interesting," Kevin continued, turning the hologram. "Very threatening. Lots of sharp edges. But look at this little symbol here. Is that supposed to be a skull? It looks like a potato with eyes." Lucy giggled behind the camera. "Should I order the pizza now?" "Yeah, go ahead. Hawaiian, please." Kevin set the hologram on his desk and looked directly at the viewers. "Folks, I want to be clear. This is an actual declaration of war from an actual alien empire. But honestly, we need to talk about the presentation here." Commander Thorne of the Valerian Empire watched the broadcast from his flagship. His 4 eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of extreme confusion among his species. His communication officer stood frozen at her station. "Sir, the humans are mocking the sacred declaration." "I can see that." Thorne's mandibles clicked together. "Contact the diplomatic corps. Find out if this is some kind of translation error." Back on Earth, Kevin had started reading the actual declaration. His pizza had arrived and he took a bite between sentences. "Okay, so apparently we have insulted the honor of the Valerian people by existing in territories claimed by ancient right. Does anyone know what territories they are talking about? Because last I checked, we are just here on Earth doing our thing." Lucy checked her tablet off camera. "According to their map, they claim everything within 50 light years of Earth. But we have only had faster than light travel for 20 years. We have got like 6 colonies and they are all way outside that range." Kevin shrugged at the camera. "I think someone in the Valerian mapping department made a mistake. That is awkward." The comments section of the live stream was exploding. People were posting jokes, memes, and their own ratings of the declaration. Someone had already created a GIF of Kevin laughing at the potato skull symbol. Another viewer had started a petition to send the Valorians a better graphic designer. Kevin continued reading. "Here's my favorite part. They say they will arrive in our system within 1 standard cycle to accept our surrender. If we do not surrender, they will demonstrate their military superiority. Folks, they are giving us like 30 days to just give up everything. That is not even enough time to have a proper debate about it." He took another bite of pizza. "Let me tell you what I think is happening here. The Valorians have this whole intimidation routine that works on everyone. They send the scary box. They use the threatening language. Most species probably panic and surrender. But here is the thing. Humans invented spam email. We get threatening messages every single day telling us our car warranty has expired or we owe money to some prince. This is just alien spam." Lucy laughed so hard she had to put down the camera for a second. The view tilted before she steadied it again. On the Valerian flagship, Commander Thorne was receiving reports from across the galaxy. The human broadcast was being shared on every major network. Species that had surrendered to the Valorians decades ago were watching. Some were laughing. "Sir, the Zephyrite news networks are running commentary on the human broadcast," his communication officer reported. "They are calling it the entertainment event of the century." Thorne felt something he had never experienced in 40 years of military service. Embarrassment. Kevin was now rating different aspects of the declaration. Presentation gets an 8 out of 10. Very professional, nice box, good hologram quality. Content gets a 4 out of 10. Too derivative. I have seen better villain speeches in movies. Threat level gets a 2 out of 10 because they did not even specify what weapons they would use. Legal standing gets a 0 out of 10 because their territorial claim makes no sense. He finished his pizza and wiped his hands. Overall score is 5 out of 10. The Valerian Empire needs to workshop this a bit more before sending it out. Maybe get some focus groups. Test the message. Basic marketing stuff. Lucy spoke from behind the camera. "What should we do about the actual invasion?" Kevin thought for a moment. "Well, they said they are coming in 30 days. So I guess we have a month to prepare. I'm thinking we should organize a welcome party. Show them some Earth hospitality. Maybe they are just grumpy because nobody has ever been nice to them. The live stream continued for another 20 minutes. Kevin answered questions from the comments section. He discussed human military capabilities in vague terms. He talked about how most wars in human history started over misunderstandings. He suggested that maybe the Valorians just needed some friends. By the time the stream ended, it had 5 billion views. Within 6 hours, the memes had spread to every human colony and then beyond to alien networks. Someone had created a video game where players tried to design better war declarations. Another person had written a song about the potato skull symbol. A comedy group had produced a sketch showing Valorian warriors practicing their threatening poses in front of mirrors. Commander Thorne sat in his command chair, watching the galactic response unfold. For 300 years, the Valorian declaration of war had struck fear into every species that received it. Now it was a joke. A meme. Entertainment. His communication officer approached cautiously. "Sir, what are your orders?" Thorne did not answer immediately. He was watching a human comedy show that was comparing the Valorian declaration to historical Earth documents. They were laughing. Everyone was laughing. "Proceed as planned," he finally said. "We will show them this is not a joke. We will show the entire galaxy that the Valorian Empire is not to be mocked." But even as he gave the order, Thorne wondered if perhaps the humans understood something that the Valorians had missed. Something about power, fear, and the strange way ridicule could be more dangerous than weapons. The fleet began its journey to Earth. Behind them, the galaxy watched and waited. This war was going to be different from any that had come before. Commander Thorne's fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel at the edge of Earth's solar system. 300 warships arranged themselves in perfect battle formation. Their weapons were charged. Their shields were active. Every soldier was ready for combat. What they found made no sense whatsoever. "Sir, I am detecting massive energy signatures near Earth," his sensor officer reported. "But they are not weapons. They appear to be lights. Colored lights." Thorne leaned forward in his command chair. "Explain." "The humans have placed thousands of light displays in orbit around their planet. They are flashing in patterns. Also detecting audio broadcasts on all frequencies. It sounds like music." The main view screen activated. Earth filled the display, but it was unlike any world preparing for invasion. Massive holographic displays floated in space showing welcome messages in dozens of languages including Valorian. Fireworks were exploding in the upper atmosphere. Ships of all sizes were moving around the planet, not in military formations but in what looked like a parade. "Get me a communication channel with Earth's military command," Thorne ordered. The channel opened. A smiling human woman appeared on screen. She wore a bright yellow uniform with flowers printed on it. "Hello. Welcome to Earth. My name is Sarah Chin, and I am the coordinator for the Welcome to Earth Festival. Are you here for the opening ceremony?" Thorne's mandibles clicked together in irritation. "I am Commander Thorne of the Valorian Imperial Fleet. I demand to speak with your military leaders immediately." Sarah checked something on her tablet. "Military leaders? Let me see. Oh, I think you want the Department of Defense. Hold on, I will transfer you." The screen changed. Another human appeared, a man in casual clothes drinking coffee. "Department of Defense, this is Mike Torres. How can I help you?" "I am Commander Thorne. I have 300 warships at your system's edge. We delivered a declaration of war 30 days ago. Surrender your planet immediately." Mike took a sip of his coffee. "Oh right, the war declaration thing. Yeah, Kevin told us about that. Listen, you are going to want to talk to the State Department. They handle all the diplomatic stuff. Hold on." The screen changed again before Thorne could protest. A third human appeared, a woman eating a sandwich. "State Department, this is Grace Miller speaking." Thorne felt his patience running out. "I am here to conquer your planet. Connect me with someone who has authority." Grace swallowed her bite. "Conquer? That sounds pretty serious. You should probably talk to the Secretary of State. But she is actually at the festival right now. Can you come down to Earth? We have a VIP section set up for visiting dignitaries." "I'm not a dignitary. I am an invading commander." "Right, but you are still visiting. So that makes you a visitor. The VIP section has really good food. We have samples from every Earth culture." "Do Valorians eat food?" I should have asked that first. Behind Thorne, his bridge crew was completely silent. Several officers were staring at their consoles, unsure what to do. The sensor officer spoke quietly. "Sir, I am detecting more ships approaching our position. They appear to be civilian vessels." The view screen split. Dozens of small human ships were flying toward the Valorian fleet. They were decorated with banners and lights. One ship was broadcasting music so loud that it was interfering with sensor readings. A new communication channel opened without anyone requesting it. A cheerful human man appeared. "Hey there, Valerian friends. I am Gary Peterson and I run Peterson's Premium Space Tours. Would you folks be interested in a guided tour of the solar system? We have a special discount this week for groups over 50. I can probably fit your whole fleet in the package deal." "We are not tourists," Thorn shouted. "Oh, so you are here for the festival then? That is great. My tour includes the festival highlights. We will see the fireworks from the best viewing angle, get some inside access to the concert stages, and I can get you reservations at some really nice restaurants." Another channel opened. Then another. Humans kept contacting the fleet with offers for hotel rooms, restaurant reservations, souvenir shops, and photography packages. One enthusiastic woman wanted to sell them timeshare properties on Mars. Thorn closed all the channels except the one with Grace from the State Department. "Listen to me very carefully. We are not here for a festival. We are here to invade your planet. We will use force if necessary." Grace nodded thoughtfully. "Okay, I hear what you are saying. But here is the thing. We have about 50,000 alien visitors already here for the festival. Species from all over the galaxy. If you start shooting, it is going to be really bad publicity for you. Plus the Zephyrite News Network has cameras everywhere. They are live streaming the whole event. I do not care about publicity. Maybe you should. Hold on, I am going to show you something." Grace tapped her tablet. The screen changed to show a Zephyrite News broadcast. The Zephyrite News anchor was barely containing his laughter. "In unprecedented scenes, the fearsome Valerian Empire's invasion fleet has been redirected to festival coordinators and tour guides. Commander Thorn, known for conquering 17 worlds, has spent the last hour being transferred between human departments. Our viewers are calling this the funniest military operation in galactic history." The broadcast showed clips of Thorn's conversations. Someone had added cartoon sound effects. When Thorn demanded to speak with military leaders, a comedy whistle played. When Gary offered the tour package, audience laughter played in the background. Grace reappeared on screen. "See? You are already famous. The Zephyrite stream has 200 billion viewers across the galaxy. Species that you conquered years ago are watching. They are all laughing." Thorn stood up from his command chair. His whole body was rigid with anger. "This is psychological warfare. You are trying to humiliate us." "No, we are just trying to have a nice festival. You are the ones who showed up with warships. That is kind of a weird thing to do when someone is having a party." Grace smiled. "Look, why don't you just come down and talk in person? We can work this out. Maybe you are just having a bad day. Everyone has bad days." On the Zephyrite broadcast, the news anchor was interviewing aliens from species the Valorians had conquered. They were all watching the human response with amazement. "For years we feared them," one alien said. "But the humans just offered them a tour package. This changes everything." Another alien nodded. "The Valorians seem so small now. So silly. The humans made them look like children throwing a tantrum." Back on Thorn's flagship, his communication officer reported more incoming messages. "Sir, we are receiving thousands of communications from across the galaxy. They are mostly jokes and memes about our fleet." Thorn sat back down. For the first time in his military career, he had no idea what to do. Every action he took made things worse. The humans were not fighting. They were not even taking him seriously. And somehow, that was more effective than any weapon. "Sir, what are your orders?" his second-in-command asked. Thorn watched the festival on his view screen. Humans and aliens dancing together. Music playing. Fireworks exploding in beautiful patterns. It looked fun. It looked peaceful. It looked like everything the Valerian Empire was not. "Maintain position," he finally said. "I need to think about this." Commander Thorn made his decision on the third day of orbiting Earth. He would send a strike team to the planet's surface. Not to attack, but to demonstrate Valerian military presence. Show strength. Remind everyone that this was still an invasion. The shuttle landed in New York City during the afternoon. 50 Valerian soldiers marched out in perfect formation, weapons held ready, armor gleaming in the sunlight. Citizens would scatter in fear. Governments would panic. The galaxy would remember why the Valerian Empire was feared. Instead, a crowd gathered to take pictures. "Oh wow, look at their armor." A young woman ran up to the nearest soldier. "Is that real metal? Can I touch it? This is so cool." The soldier, a veteran named Crix, froze. His training had prepared him for combat, resistance, even surrender. "Not this. A man pushed through the crowd holding a small child. "Excuse me, sir? My daughter loves space warriors. Could she get a picture with you?" Crix looked at his squad leader. The squad leader looked back at the shuttle. Their commander had already disappeared into the crowd, surrounded by humans asking questions about Valerian culture. "I suppose one picture would not hurt," Crix said slowly. 3 hours later, the entire strike team was still in the city. Crix had taken pictures with 200 people. Someone had given him a hat that said "I love New York." A street vendor had offered him something called a hot dog, which turned out to be surprisingly good. A group of students was interviewing him about Valerian military tactics for their school project. "So when you conquered the Zephyrite homeworld, did you use orbital bombardment or ground assault?" One student asked, camera recording. "We used orbital bombardment to disable their defenses, then ground forces to secure key locations," Crix explained. He had removed his helmet because it was hot and the humans said he looked friendlier without it. "That is so interesting. And how did that make you feel? Like emotionally?" Crix paused. No one had ever asked him that before. "I did not think about feelings. I followed orders." The student nodded seriously. "Do you think there were better ways to resolve the conflict without violence?" "I never considered that question. Maybe you should." Back in orbit, Commander Thorn watched the news broadcasts. The Zephyrite News Network had cameras following his soldiers around New York. They were showing Crix eating ice cream and looking confused. Another soldier was trying human pizza and declaring it better than Valerian military rations. A third was learning to dance from a street performer. The news anchor could barely speak through his laughter. "The fearsome Valerian strike team has been completely absorbed into Earth's culture. One soldier told our reporters he wants to try every type of Earth food before leaving. Another is considering quitting the military to open a restaurant." Thorn changed the channel. A Draxian comedy show was doing sketches about the invasion. An actor dressed as a Valerian commander kept demanding surrender while humans offered him friendship bracelets and selfies. Another channel showed a panel discussion. Alien experts were analyzing the situation. "The humans have accidentally discovered the perfect defense," one expert said. "They are killing the Valorians with kindness. Every aggressive action looks foolish when met with hospitality." A second expert agreed. "The Valerian reputation was built on fear. But you cannot fear someone who offers you ice cream and asks about your feelings. The humans have destroyed in days what took the Valorian centuries to build." Thorn's communication officer approached nervously. "Sir, Earth's government has sent another message. They are inviting our entire fleet to a cultural exchange program. They want to show us museums, historical sites, and introduce us to something called karaoke." "What is karaoke?" "I do not know, sir. But apparently it involves singing and having fun." Thorn closed his eyes. This was a disaster. His strike team was touring the planet like excited children. His reputation was being mocked across the galaxy. And worst of all, some part of him wanted to know what karaoke was. On Earth's surface, Crix and his squad had been invited to dinner by a human family. They sat around a table eating something called spaghetti while the family asked questions about Valerian culture. "Do you have families back home?" the mother asked. "I have a mate and 2 offspring," Crix said. "I have not seen them in 4 years. Military service requires long deployments." "4 years? That must be so hard. Do you miss them?" Crix stared at his plate. He had never allowed himself to think about it. Missing things made you weak. Emotions made you vulnerable. But sitting in this human home, eating their food, seeing their family together, something broke inside him. "Yes," he said quietly. "I miss them very much." The family's youngest child, a boy maybe 7 years old, reached over and patted Crix's armored hand. "It is okay to be sad. My dad travels for work sometimes and I miss him too. But he always comes home." That night, the Zephyrite News Network broadcast footage of Crix sitting with the human family. The image of the massive warrior being comforted by a small child spread across the galaxy within hours. It became the most shared piece of media in galactic history. Thorn watched it from his command chair. His bridge crew was silent. Several officers were staring at their consoles, and Thorn suspected some of them were crying behind their helmets. His second-in-command spoke carefully. "Sir, I am receiving reports from the strike team. They are requesting permission to extend their stay on Earth. They want to learn more about human culture." "Denied. Order them back to the ship immediately." "Sir, they are also asking if their families could visit Earth. Apparently the humans have offered to host Valerian civilians as part of a cultural exchange program." Thorn stood up. "This has gone far enough. Prepare the main weapons. We will demonstrate our power once and for all." "Target, sir?" That was the problem. What could he target? The humans had no military installations visible. Their cities were full of civilians and visiting aliens. Their space stations were hosting the festival. Any attack would kill innocents and make the Valorians look like monsters. He sat back down. His communication officer spoke hesitantly. Sir, we have another message from Earth. Ambassador Kevin Richards wants to speak with you personally. He says he has a proposal. Thorne looked at the view screen showing Earth below. The festival was still going. Music was still playing. His soldiers were still eating ice cream and taking pictures and asking questions about feelings. Fine, he said. Put him through. Kevin appeared on screen, smiling as always. Commander Thorne. I've been hoping we could talk. I think I understand what is happening here, and I have an idea that might help everyone save face. Are you interested? Thorne said nothing for a long moment. Then he nodded once. Good, Kevin said. Let me tell you about something we call win-win solutions. Commander Thorne listened to Kevin's proposal, but his patience had run out. Days of humiliation had built up inside him like pressure in a sealed container. His empire looked weak. His soldiers were eating human food and talking about feelings. The entire galaxy was laughing. Enough, Thorne interrupted Kevin mid-sentence. No more talking. No more festivals. We will demonstrate Valerian strength right now. Kevin's smile faded. Commander, I really think you should reconsider. Thorne closed the communication channel. He turned to his weapons officer. Target that station. He pointed at a small orbital platform floating near Earth. It looked like a simple research facility. No visible weapons. No shields showing on sensors. Just a basic station with about 50 humans inside. Sir, there are civilians on that station, his second-in-command said. They have 30 seconds to evacuate. Send the warning now. The warning broadcast went out. On the station, alarms started blaring. Humans rushed to escape pods. Thorne watched them scatter like insects. Good. Let them fear. Let the galaxy see what happens when you mock the Valerian Empire. 29 seconds passed. Most of the humans had evacuated. A few remained inside, probably frozen with fear. Thorne felt no satisfaction, only cold determination. Fire, he commanded. 3 plasma cannons discharged simultaneously. Massive bolts of energy crossed the distance to the station in seconds. The bridge crew watched the view screen, waiting for the explosion that would finally prove Valerian power. The energy bolts hit something 10 meters from the station and stopped. What just happened? Thorne demanded. His sensor officer frantically checked readings. Sir, shields just activated. But I am detecting no power signature. These readings make no sense. The shield strength is off our measurement scale. The plasma bolts hung in space, frozen against an invisible barrier. Then they simply dissolved, their energy absorbed into nothing. Full weapons barrage. All ships. Fire everything. Across the fleet, 300 warships opened fire. Missiles, plasma cannons, particle beams, kinetic rounds. Enough firepower to destroy a small moon. All of it converged on the tiny research station. None of it got through. The shields flickered into visibility for just a moment. They looked like flowing water made of light, rippling with each impact. Every weapon that hit them simply vanished. The station floated peacefully behind its barrier, completely undamaged. Then something else happened. Sir, our weapon systems just went offline, the tactical officer reported. All of them. Across the entire fleet. What? How? I do not know. Some kind of electromagnetic pulse, but unlike anything I have seen. It shut down weapons but left life support and engines running. It was surgically precise. Thorne stared at the view screen. The small research station that looked so harmless had just disabled 300 warships without firing a single shot. A communication channel opened. Kevin appeared on screen again, but he was not in his office anymore. He was on the research station wearing a casual jumpsuit and still smiling. Commander Thorne, are you okay? That looked pretty intense from here. Nobody got hurt, right? What did you do to my ships? Oh, we just temporarily disabled your weapon systems. Do not worry, they will come back online in about 6 hours. We did not want anyone to get hurt, including you guys. Listen, we are sending rescue ships now. Rescue ships? We do not need rescue. Our ships are functional. I know, but some of your vessels took minor damage from debris when the weapons overloaded. We want to make sure everyone is safe. Our medical teams are really good. Best in the galaxy, probably. Thorne watched in disbelief as dozens of human ships approached his fleet. They were marked with red crosses and were broadcasting medical assistance offers on all frequencies. Do not board my ships, Thorn ordered. We will not board without permission. We are just here if you need us. Oh, also, just so you know, this whole thing is being broadcast live. The Zephyrite News Network asked for exclusive coverage. I hope that is okay. It was not okay. Nothing about this was okay. But what could Thorn do? His weapons were offline. His reputation was destroyed. And now human rescue workers were offering to help the fleet that had just attacked them. On one of the Valerian cruisers, a junior officer had been injured when a weapons console exploded. His crewmates were trying to help, but their medical supplies were limited. When a human medical ship requested permission to board, the ship's captain made the decision without consulting Thorn. The human medical team arrived within minutes. There were 3 of them, led by a doctor named Nina Flores. She carried a medical kit and wore a uniform with Earth's symbol on it. Where is the injured crew member? Nina asked. The Valerian captain led her to the young officer. He was bleeding from a wound on his side. Nina immediately knelt beside him and opened her kit. Okay, let me see. This looks bad but not critical. I'm going to stop the bleeding first. She worked quickly and efficiently. Her hands moved with practiced precision. Within minutes, the bleeding had stopped and she was applying something that made the wound start healing visibly. What is that medicine? The captain asked. Regenerative gel. We developed it about 10 years ago. It speeds up natural healing by a factor of 20. He will be fine in a few hours. Nina smiled at the young officer. You are very brave. This must hurt a lot. The officer stared at her with all 4 eyes. You are helping me? After we attacked you? Of course. You are hurt. That is what doctors do. We help people who are hurt. Nina finished bandaging the wound. There. Rest for a bit and drink lots of water. Your body needs energy to heal. The Zephyrite News Network cameras caught everything. They showed Nina working on the injured Valerian. They showed other human medical teams helping across the fleet. They showed Valerian soldiers, trained to expect cruelty from enemies, being treated with genuine care and kindness. The news anchor spoke with unusual seriousness. What we are witnessing may change galactic politics forever. The humans have demonstrated military technology far beyond anything we have seen. Those shields could withstand a full fleet assault. That electromagnetic pulse disabled hundreds of ships instantly. But instead of pressing their advantage, instead of destroying the Valerian fleet, the humans are providing medical care. A military analyst appeared on screen beside him. This is deliberate strategy. The humans are showing 2 things simultaneously. First, they can defend themselves easily. Second, they choose not to cause harm. It is brilliant. The Valorians cannot claim victimhood. They attacked first. But they also cannot claim the humans are weak. Those shields prove otherwise. Back on his flagship, Thorn watched his injured crew members being helped by human doctors. He watched his proud warriors accepting aid from the people they had tried to conquer. He watched the galaxy witnessing Valerian weakness and human strength in the same moment. His second-in-command spoke quietly. Sir, what do we do now? Thorn had no answer. In 300 years of conquest, the Valerian Empire had never faced anything like this. They had fought enemies who resisted. They had crushed rebellions. They had won countless battles. But they had never encountered an opponent who responded to violence with compassion while demonstrating overwhelming superiority. Kevin's face appeared on the view screen again. Commander, our medical teams report everyone is stable. No critical injuries. That is good news. When you are ready, I would still like to discuss that proposal I mentioned. I think we can find a solution that helps everyone. Thorn looked at his crew. They were watching him, waiting for orders. But what orders could he give? Attack again and be disabled again? Retreat in shame? Continue this pointless standoff? For the first time in his military career, Commander Thorn admitted something he had never said before. We will talk, he told Kevin. Kevin met Commander Thorn in a conference room on the research station. The same station that Thorn had tried to destroy hours earlier. The irony was not lost on either of them. Thorn entered with 2 guards. He expected a formal negotiation table, military advisors, legal experts. Instead, he found a comfortable room with soft chairs and a table covered with snacks. Kevin sat casually drinking tea. Commander Thorn, please sit. Would you like something to drink? We have several Valerian beverages. One of your soldiers told us which ones you prefer. Thorn sat stiffly. I am here to discuss terms of withdrawal. Sure, we can talk about that. But first, I want to ask you something. Why did you attack us? I mean, really, what did you hope to achieve? To demonstrate strength. To restore my empire's reputation. Kevin nodded thoughtfully. And how did that work out? Thorn said nothing. They both knew the answer. The attack had made everything worse. The galaxy had watched the Valerian fleet fail completely. Memes were spreading faster than ever. One popular image showed Valerian ships with the caption, "Defeated by kindness and really good shields." "Here is what I think happened," Kevin continued. "Your empire built its power on fear. You conquered species that were weaker or less organized. You never fought anyone who could actually match you. So your reputation grew and grew. Eventually, the reputation did most of the work. Species surrendered before you even arrived. This is accurate. But reputations are fragile things. They require constant maintenance. And the moment someone challenges them effectively, they collapse." Kevin poured tea for both of them. "We did not mean to destroy your reputation, Commander. Honestly, we just reacted naturally. Humans have this weird habit of trying to make friends with everyone, even people who want to hurt us. It was psychological warfare." "No, it really was not. That is what makes this whole situation so strange. We genuinely wanted to be friendly. The festival was real. The medical help was real. We actually do not want to fight you." Kevin smiled. "But I understand why you think it was a strategy. Because it worked better than any military strategy could have." Thorn took a sip of tea. It was prepared perfectly, exactly how he liked it. Somehow that made him feel worse. "So what happens now?" Thorn asked. "We withdraw. The galaxy laughs. The Valerian Empire becomes a joke. Species we conquered will rebel. Our power ends. That is one possibility. Or we could try something different." Kevin pulled out a tablet and showed Thorn a proposal. "What if instead of withdrawing in defeat, you partnered with humanity on something positive?" Thorn read the document. His eyes widened. "A joint exploration mission?" "Yes. There are 16 unexplored sectors beyond the galactic rim. Dangerous territory. Unknown species. Potential threats. We want to explore them, but it would be safer with experienced military support." "Your military support? You want us to protect human explorers?" "We want to work together. Humans provide technology and diplomatic skills. Valorians provide military expertise and tactical knowledge. We become partners instead of enemies. The galaxy sees the Valerian Empire choosing cooperation over conquest. That is a new kind of strength." Thorn set down the tablet. "This is charity. You are trying to help us save face." "Yes," Kevin said simply. "Because right now, a humiliated Valerian Empire will either collapse or become desperate. Both options create instability. Wars will happen. People will die. But if we give you a path forward, a way to rebuild your reputation through positive actions, everyone benefits." "Why would you help us after we attacked you?" Kevin leaned forward. "Because humans have done terrible things in our history. We have fought wars over stupid reasons. We have hurt each other over differences that did not matter. We learned, slowly and painfully, that cooperation works better than conquest. Maybe we can help you learn that lesson without as much pain." Thorn was silent for a long time. Outside the window he could see his fleet. Disabled. Humiliated. Helpless. But the human medical ships were still there, still helping, still caring for his injured crew. "If I agree to this, it changes everything," Thorn said. "The Valerian Empire has never partnered with anyone as equals. We conquer or we stand alone. Then maybe it is time for something new." 3 days later, Kevin and Thorn held a joint press conference. Every major news network in the galaxy broadcast it live. Billions of beings watched. Kevin spoke first. "Humanity and the Valerian Empire are announcing a historic partnership. Together we will explore unknown regions of space. This mission represents a new approach to galactic relations. One based on cooperation rather than conquest." Thorn stepped forward. He looked directly at the cameras. "The Valerian Empire has spent 3 centuries proving our strength through war. Today we choose a different path. We will prove our strength through exploration and partnership. This is not weakness. This is evolution." The galactic response was immediate and divided. Some species celebrated. Others were skeptical. Many pointed out that this was clearly a face-saving measure for the Valorians. But something unexpected happened over the following weeks. Young Valorians who had watched the entire situation unfold began questioning their empire's values. Veterans who had seen human kindness started asking why conquest was necessary. Citizens who had watched Crix eat ice cream with a human family wondered why they could not have similar connections. The soldier Crix became famous across both civilizations. He resigned from the military and opened a restaurant on Earth serving fusion cuisine combining Valerian and human foods. His family moved to Earth. His children attended human schools. He gave interviews about his experiences. "I spent 20 years believing strength meant violence," Crix told one reporter. "But watching humans respond to our aggression with kindness, seeing them help us after we attacked them, that took more strength than any battle I ever fought." Commander Thorne led the joint exploration mission personally. His flagship, once a symbol of conquest, now carried human scientists and diplomats alongside Valerian soldiers. They discovered 3 new habitable worlds and made peaceful contact with 2 previously unknown species. During one expedition, the team encountered a hostile alien race. The aliens attacked, expecting the Valorians to respond with overwhelming force. Instead, Thorne ordered defensive positions only. Kevin and his diplomatic team opened communications. After 3 days of tense negotiations, the aliens agreed to talk. The lead alien diplomat was confused. "You have superior weapons. Why do you not simply conquer us?" Kevin smiled. "Because we learned something important. Making friends is harder than making enemies. But friends are more valuable." 6 months into the partnership, the Zephyrite News Network did a special report on the situation. The anchor who had once mocked the Valorians now spoke seriously. "What began as comedy has become the most significant shift in galactic politics in centuries. The Valerian Empire is transforming. Not through defeat but through choice. Other military powers are watching. Some are beginning to question whether conquest is truly necessary." Back on Earth, the annual Welcome to Earth festival had become even larger. This year, 5,000 Valorians attended. They walked among the crowds peacefully. Children took pictures with Valerian soldiers. Families shared meals. Cultural exchanges happened naturally. Kevin stood on a balcony overlooking the festival. Thorne stood beside him. "Did you plan all of this?" Thorne asked. "From the beginning, did you know it would end this way?" Kevin laughed. "No. Honestly, when you sent that war declaration, I thought it was spam. Everything that happened after was just humans being humans. We made friends because that is what we do. You changed because you chose to change. The galaxy thinks you use some kind of master strategy. Let them think that. The truth is simpler and more powerful. We showed you kindness when you expected cruelty. We offered help when you expected punishment. That is not strategy. That is just being decent." Thorne watched a Valerian child playing with human children below. They were laughing together, sharing toys, completely unaware of the historic significance of their friendship. "Perhaps being decent is the best strategy of all," Thorne said quietly. Kevin smiled. "Now you are getting it." Across the galaxy, other species watched and learned. War was still possible. Conflict still existed. But humanity had demonstrated something new. They had shown that making war look ridiculous was more effective than fighting it. That kindness could be stronger than weapons. That the best way to defeat an enemy was to turn them into a friend. The Valerian Empire would never be the same. Neither would the galaxy. And it all started because one human ambassador decided to eat pizza while reviewing a war declaration.